Roll set.
Around the World in 80 Days is an adventure comedy, love story, martial arts film, kids film, adult film, fantasy, adventure all rolled into one.
It was like an endurance test, this movie. We shot for 6 months.
It's a literal journey around the world, and it's a metaphorical journey.
You can travel around the world, you see so many different places.
For me, this film is a true adventure film like the ones I saw when I was a child.
It's an old-style, classic, big, family-friendly epic.
Background.
It's just amazing that you can actually play a part in the movie version of it.
And the opportunity to go make a movie sort of literally around the world, that's a once-in-a-lifetime dream.
What's so exciting was telling this wonderful story at this moment in time in history when anything is possible.
Well then, Fogg, let's see you circumnavigate the world in 80 days.
I'll take your wager.
And I remembered reading the book as a kid. So I picked up the book again, and thought, well, this Jules Verne, we all know him as an amazing writer.
Jules Verne was always like a hero of mine. I loved the book when I read it as a child, and I loved the idea of somebody that could see the future like that.
A lot of his novels involve things that happened in the future that he was right about. The fax machine, submarines. He was amazingly ahead of his time.
He's sort of the first science fiction writer in some ways, along with H.G. Wells, and I guess in a way the Fogg of our story is closer to Jules Verne himself than the original Phileas Fogg character from the book.
That was the kernel of the idea that made me say, well, if we're going to remake this movie, to make it, stand up to the test of time now, it would be fun to make it in the spirit of Jules Verne. So I made Phileas Fogg an inventor. So that way our character in the movie could be projecting all the things that are going to be happening in the future.
Action.
So your eye is drawn to what I hope will one day be my crowning achievement.
A giant moth?
It's a flying machine.
The character in the film is quite different from the original with David Niven. The original Phileas, he's quite a conservative person, very unemotional, almost purposefully dull. I play him more as a comical character.
49. Eureka! We've done it!
In the book, he's just totally confident. Nothing was ever a problem for him, and the idea is unflappable. And we needed somebody flappable. We needed somebody that was going to change, somebody that was insecure, somebody that had never been out of England. So the idea is that by traveling around the world, he gets more of a sense of himself.
Please, Mr. Ross, the balloon cannot support all this weight.
Your hot air should compensate, no?
Get off! Let go!
Jackie immediately gravitated to this movie because he thought, I get to do stuff in all different locations that I've never done.
One day I remember my manager called me, Jackie, guess what? Somebody asked you to do Around the World 80 Days. Then I said, yes!
And he's the guy who meshed martial arts with comedy, and that's why I think everyone loves him so much. So I kind of tried to give him a playground to work on, to do his magic, to do what he's great at.
The world has never seen Jackie Chan the way Jackie Chan is in Around the World in 80 Days. He's throwback to Buster Keaton and Charlie Chaplin and, those silent film stars that just use their physicality to just make you just laugh out loud. I can't tell you how many takes I broke. And Jackie would come over to me and say, stop laughing, you're not helping.
Stop helping me!
I think it's the first time that we're asking Jackie to really play, not just to grown-ups, but to kids as well. And he is fantastic at it.
He's just super nice, and especially to nice girls like me.
That's Mr. Fox ship. You make me scared. Ship! Ship! Boat! Can I say boat? Right now, the audience treat me as like a comedian, yes. Actor, yes. The actor who can fight, yes.
Drop all the stunt guys. Let's come back. Come back. All cameras. Action. And action.
Hello. Now, you give me some of that money, or...
When it came down to the casting of Phileas Fogg, I thought, let's find somebody who you can truly believe is a genius, yet can also be really funny, but we don't know he's trying to make a joke, and we kind of looked everywhere, and I had seen Steve Coogan, and I thought, this guy, you believe he's a genius, and when he makes a joke, he doesn't do what I call ta-da. You're sort of in the scene with him, and you're like, that was just really funny, and it doesn't seem like he means to be funny, but he is.
He's really, really British. Yeah, everything. All right, but of course.
I've done that, but I haven't done a sorrow myself.
He is Phileas. He really is the guy. And you couldn't ask for a better comic actor to work with.
To me, the world's going to know him now, and they're going to always think, hey, that's Phileas Fogg.
You really believe we can succeed?
Yes.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
There's not many actresses, young actresses, that are beautiful and charming, that have comedic timing like Lucille Ball. Cécile de France has it.
No, c'est pas timide. I have a lot of responsibility on my shoulders, especially because English is not my native language. It's important to keep Monique as French as possible, but people must be able to understand her when she speaks English. And I've been lucky to work with an excellent dialogue coach, and she has helped me to understand the rhythm of English, which is so different from French.
Yeah. It's not Kirsten. It's a drop off. It's Kirsten. Yeah.
She just totally lights up the screen. Great comedian.
He also said the Chinese wall art to kill Phileas Fogg.
Let's see how it plays out. I'll be here.
She's tough, but she's still a lady, and she's gorgeous, and she couldn't wait. She kept saying, Frank, I need to hit somebody in the movie. And I was like, good.
Then she's been practicing like 2 weeks every day, you know. Boom.
She'd go around the world twice. She has that much spirit.
Oh, you'd better put this on. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Where are you?
A man who has never set foot out of England, circling the globe. This is going to be rather amusing.
Lord Kelvin was based on a real man who existed. He was a famous scientist who invented the Kelvin temperature scale. But what he's famous for now is kind of examples of stupid things that scientists have said.
We live in a golden age, Fogg. Everything worth discovering has been discovered.
Lord Kelvin said that you'll never have planes that will fly. He said radio waves are impossible. And he said the internal combustion engine was impossible. So when we started talking about this real guy, they said, that's got to be our villain.
Oh, you spineless cretins.
We just thought, who could be a great, colorful villain, but still be very real and be able to push the limits? And we thought of Jim Broadbent, and he just sort of fit that bill perfectly.
This is the Royal Academy of Science. We don't need to prove anything.
He chooses to believe that science and civilization has developed as much as it can, and he wants it to stop. The status quo suits him fine.
Lies, all of it.
It works well as kind of a modern take on what the world's like today as well, because as much as you have people that are trying to move the world forward, you always have people that say, you know, no more.
Lies, all of it. Stop, or I'll arrest you as well.
Ewan Bremner brings a kind of madcap, surreal quality to the part of Inspector Fix.
He's like a human cartoon. So I kind of tried to give him a playground to work on, to do his magic, to do what he's great at.
He does his own thing, and so you're putting a lot of trust into him, but frankly, who better than Jackie Chan to put your trust in?
He's directed, I think over 80 films, so he's not a young kid that needs to prove anything to anybody. He is it. He is the master.
Jackie has a lot of very, very good ideas, and all of his ideas work, so I learn a lot from watching him.
Jackie was indispensable in the action sequences because his knowledge is so comprehensive.
Jackie kind of does it all, but he does it in concert with Frank and the producers, but primarily with Frank.
It was a great collaboration, and it would be sort of like there were pieces of the scene. I was like, Jackie, we got to make sure this happens and that happens.
Sometimes even he teach me how to fight. Jackie, can you do this kind of fall? He fall from. He's full of energy.
Even when Jackie fights people in the film, it's not violent in the way that we're used to. It's more kind of a comic kind of action.
You get the best of Jackie Chan, it's good to throw him out in this different way.
This is my new friend.
He smells. And one scene where it works out great, and Jackie kind of showed him a bunch of really funny things to do. He runs into Jackie while he's making hot tea. Jackie, sort of to evade him, throws hot water at him, which sends Ewan Bremner into a kind of a crazy screaming fit, causing a whole chain reaction of him doing all this amazing classic slapstick stuff that Jackie choreographed, of him banging his head, banging his hand, getting stuck, and almost falling out the window.
Watch out on the right. Oh, no, my right.
Stop helping me!
Sorry.
Jackie Chan is, I think, one of the greatest martial artists in the world. One of the most loved, actors, movie stars in the world. And at the same time, one of the most amazing comedians. He's the guy who meshed martial arts with comedy, and that's why I think everyone loves him so much.
And roll video. Ready, and action.
Jackie Chan, he's the master. He's the master and the most unique master because he's, I think, one of the greatest martial artists in the world.
And me.
And at the same time, one of the most amazing comedians, and he's the guy who meshed martial arts with comedy. I developed the movie by spending about 6 or 8 months with him every day going, this is my idea, Jackie, what do you think? And, it made the action scenes be a part of the movie. He works harder than anyone I've ever met in my life, and he loves what he does more than anyone.
And he's very energetic in that he's always wants to be doing something, wants to be stimulated, and really sort of drives the film forward.
I'm inspired to get us back on schedule.
And they let go, the balloon starts going up. They should be holding the rope. The balloon is such a centerpiece of the original movie that we have to come up with something. I thought, Jackie has to jump off the balloon that's from a dangling rope, and then somehow he has to get back onto that balloon. So it's him running through Paris trying to catch the end of the rope.
Action.
So you give something like that to Jackie, and then he just started coming up with all this amazing stuff. And he said, yeah, when I grab the rope, then I bang into building, and then the rope pulls, and I go up. So he came up with that concept, and then I said, okay, then each window you go by, it's almost a la Batman. You stop, and the first one's Toulouse-Lautrec and a bunch of beautiful women. And then Jackie said, well, I'll let the rope slip through my hands, and I keep watching the beautiful girls until it gets to the end of the rope.
Bye-bye.
So together we have these really fun sequences.
It's very impressive. I'd have let go by now.
Sorry, Nicky, we missed it. That's what you wanted.
Oh, I was doing a big stunt on the balloon in Paris. The hanging there, moving around. I almost killed myself. I suppose like jump to the balloon I can doing on the green screen, but I rather doing the real set.
And action. Take 3, eh? Take 4.
If you're behind the blue screen, sometimes when you jump, that's wrong. That's wrong. When you really jump, you actually just. I'd rather doing the real set.
40 Charlie, take 1. Mark.
Fox Ballet. Then, boom. Teach people how to making an action film. It's a piece of cake. Before you.
Jackie choreographed all this amazing classic slapstick stuff.
Really clever and funny sequences.
Detective Fix runs into Jackie while he's making hot tea.
It's the most elaborate sequence I've ever been involved in.
You go down. You have to all the way down, see? See? If you do this, see? I go down. You have to all the way straight. Okay? Come over.
This whole struggle of him dangling out a train until he actually does his shoes come off, and there goes Detective Fix bouncing along the tracks.
Sorry!
Wang Feihong, surely you're not foolish enough to take on all of my men by yourself.
1, 2, 3.
10 Tigers.
Here we have probably one of the most brilliant sequences that the film has is the 10 Tigers fight, where you have this enormous fight taking place in the village.
Action!
Jackie has a team of stuntmen, and that's sort of what I thought. This lends itself great to the 10 Tigers because we have so many people that are talented there in Jackie's team and all the people he knows from Hong Kong. So, there was about 30 people, 40 people fighting. So we have this amazing classic martial arts fight.
Action!
Okay, go! Everybody knows when they see me, go on the set. Everybody, go! I just go non-stop.
Go!
Then you wait. Just here, you see the hand in.
The greatest thing we could do is have Jackie do some of the best stuff he's ever done. And I looked at all his movies, and Drunken Master is one of my favorites and many people's favorites. And he fights with a bench in that. And what's clever is not, knocking people in the face and stabbing people, but not having to do that and make it entertaining. And that's what Jackie does best.
When I see the audience, yes, it's payback. All those years, I broke my hand, I broke my finger, I do it for the movie. Audience, they don't know. See the action, great, yes. Then, I don't care. Because it's for all over the world. You know how many people see the movie? Then I can make so many people, so many children happy.
Thank you, guys. What do you want to do in the morning?